For some unknown reason, this guy's pennies will not rest. He had a hard-on from the beginning of our date to the end. He came prepared. What up, people? Welcome to another episode of Social Moments. So on today's episode, 10 women share their stories of their first date experience, and it's something. If you are new here, hit the subscribe button, click on the bell, and click on all. Thank you. So starting off with Precious, who is 24, says, we met on Instagram and decided on having our first date at an ice cream parlor. Sadly, this guy wouldn't stop talking about different ways in which I could lose weight. After he saw me, he said I'm supposed to do like 40 press-ups just because I'm taking a cup of ice cream. Wow, that's rude. I lost it when he said, if you follow my advice, you wouldn't have to place your stomach on thighs when sitting again. Jesus. Yo, my man. Did you invite a lady for a date just to shame her or what? I grabbed the 2 cups of ice cream that was on the table, threw them at him and ran outside. The bike I took came at the perfect time and threw him a huge fuck you when he tried coming after me. Good for you. That guy was rude. He be this kind of person where God for take like the clay and the water, give him, make him create his own kind of woman cause. This kind of audacity is insane. So Lillian, who is 26, says he was already seated before I arrived. I greeted him and apologized for coming late. However, he ignored me. He later told me it was because I said hello when I greeted him instead of saying good afternoon. Wait, what? Really? That distinction is that important? I apologized again. We conversed a little and I started glancing through the menu list. He snatched it from me and jokingly said he would pick for us because he doesn't trust Nigerian girls. This reminds me of the story I did like a couple of weeks ago about a guy who left the lady to pay a 16.5k meal at a restaurant because she ordered something out of his budget. If you want to check out that story, I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can watch it later. He chose salad, which was the cheapest on the list. A place was 2,500 naira, and he ordered 2 with 2 bottles of water. Why do I think like this is that guy? Maybe now he's learned his lesson to not let Nigerian women pick the food off the menu because they're gonna pick something he can't afford. I think that's that guy. I don't know. I called the waiter and told him I would love to have jollof rice and juice with mine, and I made payment for everything I got immediately. He became moody again, but I didn't care. He then said he noticed I'm a feminist through my attitude and left the table angrily without paying for what he got. The waiter came to ask for his money, and I asked her if I gave her money for what I ate or not. She went after him, but he was gone. Hair loss. You see, that's what's wrong with such guys. They, like you don't want her to, order out of your budget, which is cool, which is fine, right? But if she gets something for herself too, you are angry that she's upstaging you and paying for herself, and she's a feminist and whatever. Like, you're never gonna get a date with this kind of attitude. They are showing you good day top for the rest of your life, of course. You ain't going anywhere with this. So Naomi, 28, says, I came down to Lagos from Enugu to see this man after chatting for 2 months online. We had our first date at a rooftop restaurant. We were in the middle of conversation when a lady came around and sat behind us. This guy started acting restless and was twisting his neck to look at her. He suddenly stood up and went to her table. They started chatting and laughing, and this went on for almost 15 minutes while I was still seated. That's audacious and rude. He came back and said, Shebi, you and I are not dating yet. And I'm allowed to still go and shoot my shot, Abi. I wanted to angrily walk away, but who would pay for my flight money back to Enugu? I mean, no wonder why he did this. If he was the one who paid for her flight, even incoming, and was gonna pay for her to leave by flight again. Yeah, such guys with money have such authority. Kayotha, who is 27, says, I went on a date with a talkative who was ready to just say things unsolicitedly. He told me about the number of girls he had smashed and how he fucked one of his exes more than how her future husband would ever fuck her. He asked me what my body count was, and I told him 4. He screamed and said, "You are not married yet. You would have had like 40 before you get married." This is the same guy that told me he had sex with about 30 girls before. I let that slide and focused on eating enough food. We finished eating and a bill of 31k naira was brought to our table. This guy said he only has 10k with him, and I told him I had only my transport fare. That's how we sat down and we started doing look me, I look you. You think say you did wise. That's how we sat down and we started doing look me and look you competition. Neither of us could stand up because we were neither of us could stand up because we were stopping each other from trying to escape. Last, he forcefully paid 26k and I added the remaining 5k. I'm never going out with a broke talkative again. Yeah, but how are you gonna know he's a broke talkative until the first date? Like you, I feel like if you're a woman, if you're going out with somebody for the first time for your own sake, like at least take enough money with you that can afford you, what you ate, just in case she's not a gentleman or he starts some nonsense, or else you go wash this tire. The way they go make you wash this, you go regret. In 24 says we went on a movie date. He kept talking during the movie, which I hated. Yeah, I hated too. Especially when they've seen it before and they're trying to explain everything to you. Like, shut up, I'm watching it. It's gonna get there eventually. I know people who do that. A scene came up where a character told her ex that her child wasn't his. The next thing he did was to turn to me and say, "If you ever do this to me, I'll kill you." Then he laughed. I just faced my front while doing I'm in danger laughter. Okay, I see how that's a red flag, but he could also be joking. Like, I mean, I probably may or may not make that joke. It's kind of like, it's sort of funny. I find it funny, but everybody has their own sense of humor and what they find funny and what they do not find funny. It was in the moment of funny joke. I don't think he meant it. I can see how that can be a red flag with somebody you don't know. What if they are really that insane and they are not joking? Ole 25 says, "I'm not even trying to make fun of someone's condition, but this man was just coughing. If I counted the number of times he coughed, I'm sure I would count over 100 times. He didn't cover his mouth for once. I regretted having a nose mask on that day. I couldn't breathe." Wait, isn't that a blessing to actually have a nose mask on that day? You rather breathe in his cough? To each his own. Also, if you are ill, like, call off the date and get well soon before you do. But I also understand the guy, some opportunities you miss and you never get the chance again. Alexia 25 says, "The Mumu guy was trying to gossip about me to his friend, but he mistakenly sent the message to me on WhatsApp with a picture of me looking so funny. In the message he said, and I quote, 'Guy, this girl don't look like her picture at all. I don't like herself. She get big nash and breast shot, so I go look like knock her 2 to 3 times before I leave her.' He also said he would disappear if I order more than his budget. As soon as he noticed that the message was sent to me, he froze for about a minute while staring right into his phone. The entire date was as quiet as a graveyard, and we couldn't even look at each other. I finished my food and left the table. We never said a word to each other again ever since then." Well, there's fuck ups and there's this level of fuck up. You don't come back from that. Ngozi 26 says, we already had concluded that we would have the date at his place, but I called him a few hours into that we should meet at the hotel restaurant instead. For some unknown reason, this guy's pennies will not rest. He had a hard-on from the beginning of our date to the end. He came prepared. He came prepared. Oh man. He came prepared. You called him. You see what actually happened is that he already took the pill because you were gonna have the date at his place. You called too late. He had already taken the pill, and the pill was working. When I first hugged him, I felt something hard around my lower abdomen. I grabbed it thinking it was something else, but it turned out to be his penis, and I quickly apologized. It was so surprising. I continued picking at it throughout our date, hoping it would have calmed down, but it was still gallant under his trouser and was very obvious. I wonder if that's how he is all the time, or maybe he took something. He definitely took something. That was the only thing I concentrated on throughout the date and the food. And when did this story end? Like, Ingos, you come back and tell us the rest too. Grace 23 says, I never found him attractive, but he has money and was always eager to spend on me. Although I didn't accept to date him yet, but I was leading him on and he was always treating me like his babe. I played along because of the benefits while I made sure we don't have any physical intimacy, including kissing, because I can be selective with who I kiss. We went to the cinema one Friday evening. During the movie, I started feeling his hand trailing down my shoulder, which was fine. I didn't know how it happened, but I suddenly found my mouth inside his mouth. He was eating my lips with all his strength and was passionately pushing his tongue down my throat. This went on and on for about 2 minutes and I almost cried. I never wanted that to happen. I wore my nose mask till the movie ended. He asked why and I told him the AC was entering my nose. I just had to say something. Bimbo25 says, I went on a date with this guy in Ibadan, but we ended up at Agodi Gate police station. We met on Twitter. He had asked me out and I was hoping we would date after we met, but it ended in tears. I love taking pictures. People around me know me very well for that. That day I took pictures with my iPhone 8 Plus, but I wasn't feeling them. I asked him to stop me with his iPhone 13 Pro, which he did. I collected his phone to see the pictures he took, but I didn't like them as well. I asked the girl behind me if she could help me take some pictures at the staircase since she's a girl and she would know the perfect angles. Okay, Bimbo, you need to calm down. Like, this is the first date. Impression matters. First impression matters. You're just doing too much. I mean, you can take pictures later. Just calm down. I was so trying to arrange my legs when I noticed that the girl had disappeared with his iPhone 13 Pro. I ran inside to check if she went, but she was nowhere to be found. You need to see how this guy was sweating profusely. I knew I was in soup. After looking for this girl for over an hour, this guy dragged me to the police station. I was made to sign an agreement to pay him half of the phone price, and I had to make part payment before I was released. Funny how something was telling me not to go out all that day. I just finished paying last week. I've read 10 so far, with yours being the last. Bimbo, this one there, it be your fault. You won't die if you don't take too many pictures on your first date. This one is completely your fault, Bimbo. And that's it for today, guys. Leave a comment. Let me know which one was your favorite. Leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and click on all. Catch you later on the next episode.